Yo, hello. Most purple rain. uh, I just wanted to super quickly share one tip or one modification that you can do on your whoops, which is gonna save you a ton of money and a lot of frustration while flying. And for me, this was like a game changer because once I figured it out, I was able to build whoops that just last forever, and it's almost impossible to break your flight controller. So it doesn't really matter what frame you are using; they all have the same kind of fundamental flaw in how they are designed, and the problem is that they are soft, which I mean, it's a plus that they are soft because you can just bounce off things and the frame doesn't break so easily when it's like squishy. But the issue is that when you crash, they also squish here in the middle, and all of that energy from the crash is gonna go into your flight control. And it really doesn't matter what frame you use, as long as you crash, you will always bend your flight controller at some point. I have maybe like 10 of those which are just not working. Mostly it's like either it's the Express LRS chip or the VTX. I don't know if you can see it, but they are just, when you're always hitting it here, then the board is gonna bend, and then either the solder connections are gonna break off or the connectors inside of the board, which is the bigger problem. Sometimes like you can still fix stuff, like if your Express LRS chip is just not working, you can use the external one. Anyways, the way to fix this problem, or how I work around that, is that I just take like a thin carbon plate and just cut it and just screw it like on top of the board or underneath the board, and all that energy from the crashes is not going into the flight controller anymore. It just gets stopped by the carbon plate. And really, like, once I started to do this, I could see so much difference on how much more durable the whoops are. So this one, for example, I crashed maybe like 1,000 times, maybe even 2,000 times, like hard crashes in the whoop bun, and it's still going. Like, I replaced maybe 5 or 6 frames already, and canopies and everything, the motors, but the flight controller is still fine. It's still going. So I do this more like on every of my whoop. Like, this is, for example, here you can see I use this wall carbon plate, but even there in the middle I put like a small carbon plate, which is just stopping the squishiness of the frame that then goes onto the flight controller. Yeah. And as I said, once I start doing this, I have no problems at all with having to buy, new of those, which for me, this is the most annoying. When this breaks, I just, you can spend another $50 on new one. But if you do this mod, you're gonna be fine. Just one quick tip, or maybe a precaution to take in consideration, is that the carbon powder is carcinogen. So basically, if you breathe it in, you can get cancer. So the best way to, if you need to cut it or drill a hole or something, is to do it underwater. So usually I just put on the tap and just take like sharp scissors if I have to cut it, and then just cut off the ends, and then just take like a small drill and just do it with the hands under running water. This way I just make sure not to breathe any of the powder from the carbon plate, because we don't want that. So yeah, I hope that helps, And maybe one quick bonus tips for the broken off motor cables, because that's like the second, I would say, most common issue what happens with the whoops. So if the motor cables are just like hanging around like this, you're gonna break them off at some point. But if you I don't know if you can see it, but if you just take like a dental floss and tie them onto the frame here, it helps a lot. Also, what I do, like here, once I solder the motors to the flight controller, I just take a little bit of T800. It's like a kind of flexible glue, and just put there a little bit of the glue. It's quite easy to remove it if you have to resolder anyways, but it also helps to kind of keep the motor wires where they should be. Sometimes I even do it like here directly at the motor, so I take like the tweezers and pull the little Schrumpfschlauch, I don't know how it's called in English, this little gummy part. I pull it a little off, just put one drop of those, then put the gummy back, and basically this makes your motor cables hold so much more longer. But yeah, the main tip is just use, I don't know, you can use whatever, like small carbon plates. It doesn't have to be this one, but if you have like a thin carbon plate at home, just cut it, screw it onto your whoop. It adds a little bit of the weight, but I think it's so much worth it, because really with those flight controllers, I had some that lasted like maybe 3-4 days until I bent them, and this was always so annoying. Yeah, I mean, I bought like 5 or 6 at some point, and after a month or two of flying, all of them were broken. So you can imagine how annoying is that. Anyways, take care and have fun with this week's challenge.